You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
All right, let's jump into some other stuff that came down the pocket. We're going to try to get to a PFF preview. Let's flash that up real quick while I pull up the next graph.
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
That's talking to Marvelous Smocks team there. Take 2 weeks off and quit there, sir. So PFF Fantasy and Betting put this out. Jayden Reed in week 1, 3 receptions of 15-plus yards. That was tied for first in the league. 17.5 average depth of target. 4.93 yards per route run. That was best in the league as well. Jayden Reed, I'm telling you, that dude, and to hear the way he talks about it, too, we've actually got a soundbite here. Tim, I seen your reaction on Twitter. I absolutely loved it, man, when it came to Jayden Reed talking at his locker here. Hopefully this is the same clip that you heard earlier, but here was Bird, number 11, at his locker earlier today. This was tweeted out by Matt Schneidman in the locker room.
Yeah, my main goal is just, to fix the little mistakes that we had in the game. I had a few mistakes on, blocking stuff. So, I definitely want to hound in on that. Make sure I can clean that up because, that all goes hand in hand. It's a game of inches, so need them all. Be
careful back there with Nacho Libre pulling the pants up. Anyway, how cool is it? Jayden Reed is leading the league in receiving yards, Emilio. And what's he talk about his locker? I got to get better at blocking.
Yep. You know it. I mean, that's where it starts.
No block, no rock.
Thank you, Matt. I was just going to ask you what your thought was on that because, I mean, that's how Josh Jacobs, that's how our team got 7.8. That's how we're leading the NFL in rushing yards per carry. I mean, how many times did Christian block? I mean, was a 70 PFF grade in blocking? He blocked like 15 times, something like that. So everyone does it. It's, it's not a one-man army out there. Everyone's got to contribute, and that way it keeps everyone versatile. We can drop anyone in. We can keep doing jets. We can keep doing sweeps. We can shuffle you in real close, and then you're going to fill, the guard gap, which is crazy. How many teams do you see out there, shuffling in a wide receiver to take on the 3 gap or the 4 gap and stick their nose in there? So I think we're lucky that they have that mentality and that they want to.
Mm-hmm. Tim?
Yeah, like I said on my tweet before, man, that's how a champion responds to a question like that. Immediately basically ignored all of the stuff about his personal stats and focused on what he needed to do better, and that's championship mentality right there. He's not going to focus on all the great things he did right. He's looking at what can I improve on? And he missed some blocks in some of those run fits and in pass pro. And I'm sure he's going to address that. And when they ask him to make those blocks, he's going to do it. He's a second-year player, guys, and he's playing like a grizzled veteran already. And he's absolutely a star. I think he's, when this season's over with, he's going to be a bona fide star in the NFL for sure. And I'm just proud that he's a Packer, man. If we get great games out of him, and then, we get Romeo Dobbs and we get Tay Wicks and these guys rolling together, we're going to be unstoppable on offense.
Definitely. And listening to Brian Balaga and Mark Tauscher on Tackle Talk today on Wildy and Tausch, they asked Balaga, hey, look, you watched the tape. You broke down the tape of all the offensive linemen, right? The running game kind of sputtered in the first half, specifically with Josh Jacobs. What did you see happen different in the second half? He said they were getting to their blocks better, and the receivers blocked a lot better in the second half. Exactly what we were just talking about. Guarantee you, Jayden Reed got that rear end shootout at halftime and got those boys out there blocking on the perimeter. Because what they're looking to do, especially on some of those weak zone runs, is those receivers are bypassing the corner and they're trying to dig out the safety. They're trying to dig those safeties out the second level. That's where you get those big cutback plays. All of a sudden, bang, get a couple explosives from Josh Jacobs. So it's absolutely huge within this system for the receivers to block. And it's exactly why Coach Matt LaFleur says
no block, no rock.
That's it. So I don't know, man. Hearing Balaga talk about the offensive line, now he seemed to think Rasheed Walker didn't have the best game, and he's kind of a big Rasheed Walker fan. But Zach Tom, phenomenal game, obviously graded out as one of the second highest graded tackle in the entire league. So you got a lot to look forward to there. When we look at O-line pass protection, shifting gears here, this is kind of cool. 3013 tweeted this out, how all 32 offensive lines held up in pass protection in week 1, okay? And this is how they did it. Best O-lines in pass protection listed by average week 1 rank in pressure plus sack rates, okay? So they combined those two. And here's how they came out. Number 1, the Saints. The Saints look phenomenal on offense. Now, it's just one game. We'll see if it holds up. Pressure percentage as far as ranks is the top left, and then you got the top right number is the sack percentage rank. So you can see those numbers vaguely in the top right. That puts the Jets at number 2. So they were 7th in pressure percent ranks, and they were 3rd in sack percentage ranks, okay? So that makes them number 2. We'll just go through the rankings. Baltimore, number 3. Chargers, number 4. Buccaneers, 5. Dolphins, 6. Bears, 7, believe it or not. The Rams were tied for 8th with the Steelers. Cowboys, 10th. And then you got the Packers in 11th. So what they have was pressure percent ranks, 16th for the Packers. Sack percent ranks, number 10 for the Packers. That put them in the number 11 spot. So the offensive line is kind of picking up where they left off last year. Pass blocking really well, for the most part, keeping the quarterback upright. And again, some people were trying to blame the O-line on that hit that Jordan took. Jordan kind of tried to step up in the pocket, scramble, when he got his knee hurt. That was him making a play. And, oh, by the way, he was able to shuffle that ball back to Josh Jacobs and him get out of bounds to give them a shot at a Hail Mary that never happened, obviously. But we won't even talk about that right now. Another thing that came down the pike here from the offensive line, Zach Cruz tweeted this out and said, per Next Gen Stats, Packers right tackle Zach Tom allowed 0 pressures across 10 one-on-one opportunities versus the Eagles defensive end Bryce Huff, who led the NFL in pressure rate last year. Tom's all-pro season is off to a great start. He gets 2021 first-round pick, Kwity Paye, on Sunday. That's definitely going to be a matchup to watch for this week. One more statistic we're going to throw in here as far as offensive line. I'm going to get everybody's take. We can go back to any graphic. PFF Green Bay Packers tweeted out, Elgton Jenkins in week 1, 78.9 pass blocking grade, 74.1 run blocking grade, 38 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures allowed. We got our old Elgton Jenkins back, boys, because he wasn't bad last year, but definitely wasn't the old Elgton Jenkins. It seems like he's fully healthy now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you hit it on the head. That was probably the issue last year. He wasn't really 100%, I think, at any time last year. I think he was, 80, 90% at best, maybe. And it seems like he's got his legs under him again. And we know when it comes to that O-line, it's Big E and Zach Tom. Those are our pillars on that offensive line. Everything else is just trying to get the right combination around those guys. And they make their teammates better. I mean, it's no secret that after one season of playing next to Elgton Jenkins, you saw the progression with Rasheed Walker there at left tackle. So these guys are leaders, and I'm glad we got the old Elgton back on the O-line for sure.
Mm-hmm. Getting him back, having Zach step up. I mean, that's what a good line can lead to, is that and continuity. I mean, if we can keep, the same 5-6 out there for the rest of this year moving forward, that's going to be absolutely huge. They don't have to be, top 5 at every position, but I mean, if they work together, they gel together, they figure out strengths and weaknesses, I think that's going to be huge.
No, definitely. All right.
Can I tell you something I'm excited about? Yeah,
absolutely. Go ahead.
So this just being my second season of really following the Packers closely and knowing more player names other than the wide receivers and the quarterback. I'm excited to see the change in these players. Like all I know about Elgton Jenkins really was just last season, and you guys are telling me that's not actually him. And so to see him come back and play like he's used to playing, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, he's a dog. And when I think of Elgton Jenkins, Carly, the year that he faced, and they faced the Rams several years in a row, but there was one year in particular, the big matchup that week was they were going to put Aaron Donald on Elgton Jenkins. Aaron Donald,
yes,
first ballot Hall of Famer. Elgton
Yeah.
Jenkins, absolutely. I'll never forget my favorite meme. It was a picture of a dad holding a child, and somebody had photoshopped Elgton Jenkins on the dad and Aaron Donald on the little child. And he's holding like it was just, oh my God, it was phenomenal. Elgton Jenkins,
one of like 3 games that Aaron Donald didn't play very well in his whole career,
and he was frustrated the whole. Week.
He was. Elgton was giving him the business all day. We could do a whole chalk talk on that matchup alone.
Yeah, and it's so cool because Elgton Jenkins was a center in college, right, Emilio? Am I thinking right? He was a center.
I believe so.
When they draft him, we're going, whoa, what are we doing taking a center in the center? What is it?
Oh, no, don't worry. We're putting him at guard. Don't worry.
Yeah. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So
he's agile, but he's got the brains to make the calls. He's, he can sit there and help Josh. I mean, I don't see our O-line, we're not doing the guard turnaround, tap the center snaps. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that we can count on a cadence and, their understanding of what this offense is doing. We don't have to worry about him turning back, looking at Jay Love and then tapping Josh Myers to get him to snap the ball.
Definitely. The big thing too for Elgton, and people say, okay, if he's so good, why did they not play him at left tackle? Every scheme's a little bit different. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to put your best offensive lineman at left tackle, right? Ideally, you want him to be able to protect the blind side, obviously. But when it comes to left guard and Matt LaFleur's offense, what did we talk about from Bobby Peters' book? The staple of the offense is weak, wide zone. You go with a lot of strong right looks, you're running weak, wide zone. Guess what? That cut is C to B is what you're looking at on wide zone, right? You're looking, you're starting outside. If a cutback lane's there, you're cutting into the B gap. You're cutting in between the tackle and the guard. Well, who's on the weak side most of the time when you're going strong right? It's Elgton Jenkins at left guard. It's like the old John Madden quote. They asked him, they said, why do you always run left? You always run left. And he named off, he had 3 Hall of Famers. He had a Hall of Fame center, a Hall of Fame left guard, a Hall of Fame left tackle. He said, why the hell would I not run left? Like, that's the best part of our line, right? And that's
nothing like the defense knowing that you're running left and they still can't do a damn thing about it.
Yes.
Exactly. And then when you go to show a strong side run and you boot action left, guess who your pass protector is over there? It's Elgton Jenkins, right? Yeah. So it's putting your guys in a position to be successful, man. That's what it's always about. So latest NFC power rankings, all right? And this is according to Pro Football Talks, Week 2 NFC power rankings. We talked about the NFL power rankings. And again, this is just the PFT, Pro Football Talks version of it here, okay? They're saying Lions 1, San Fran 2, Philly 3, Tampa Bay 4, Green Bay 5. Guys, that's fine with me. I can handle that. You kidding me? And you got your toughest matchup out of the way week 1. Granted, without your starting quarterback, they're all going to be tough until Jordan Love comes back, no doubt. But I kind of like this number 5 spot in the NFC. How do y'all feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, if you told me we were going to lose our QB1 and lose the game and still be ranked 5th, I probably wouldn't have believed you. And obviously, the Bears there at 7 is all their defense. So the Bears defense is got them in the top 10 here in the NFC power rankings. And they did. They won that game for them on Sunday. So you got to give credit to that Bears D. But I don't know. What do you think, Emilio? I'm actually a little surprised that we're still in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. We only lost Jay Love, right? I was looking at the Rams too. They lost both their tackles, a guard in the game, Puka, and they're still 8th, right? Like you said, with the Bears, 93 total offensive yards, top 7. I don't know, but Dallas is a good team. They stomped the Browns, and we're still in front of them. I mean, the Bucs are going to be decent. We'll see what Kirk can do in the Falcons. But I think we're kind of right there. And again, it's just crazy how the divisions are stacked. I mean, you get each division has some 2 beefy teams, it seems like.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at us. We got the North. We got 3 in the top 10 here. That's it's pretty crazy.
The battle.
Yep. Yeah, and the Vikings look great on Sunday. Granted, they played a dumpster fire of an organization, but they've Sam Darnold might be the right fit for that organization, man. We'll see But he's talking about how this NFC power rankings stacks here. I'll tell you what else stacked. Those bowls on his head when they cut those bangs.
You think they're the metal bowls, right? They got to be like those metal ones that you can whisk a nice egg in kind of thing.
Oh. It's always about cooking with you, man. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to give him some.
Exactly right. I see you got something shared here, Emilio. Is it okay to put that on screen?
Yeah. So real fast, I know we were talking about Elgton. These were Jordan Love's his target heat map from the game last Friday, right? And if we're looking at center of the field on the pod, I would say 2/3 of his passes were attempted left of the line of left of Josh Myers.
That's interesting.
So I think it's a lot. I think it's big because we've talked about a lot of crossers and stuff. A lot of that concept, we got to get across to the second window, start him on one side, bring him back across. I think he's accurate on the right. We've seen that there's 6 completions and only 7 completions, including that deep ball touchdown. And 3 misses on the right, but it looked like he wanted to, heat up on the left side. So we trust Rasheed Walker enough. We trust Elgton enough. And then we're confident with Zach Tom covering his face that he can still look, and be able to work it down that side. But when I was poking around, I saw this and I thought it was just kind of cool to look at and just kind of track the rest of the year. I know that we're going to spread it out. I know Matt's going to, get him across, but if Jordan Love favors throwing to his face left rather than, his right side.
Yeah, and the other thing,
Emilio, is this a free chart that you can get?
I believe it is. I am logged in, so I don't know, but I believe it is. It's on Next Gen.
That's really cool. I've never seen anything like that before. That's really neat.
Yeah, they've got some really cool visualizations over at Next Gen Stats. Miles per hour. Tell them again, Emilio, who was the fastest Green Bay Packer last week?
Oh, the truck. The truck was in 5th gear. I mean, he was just rolling coal down the sideline into the Eagle. You know what I'm saying? He was.
I like it, dude. Trucker Craft. That's the new name. Trucker Craft. Let's go.
And he puts it in 3rd. He's starting at a red light, puts it in 3rd, and just cloud of smoke out the side of that thing.
I love it. I'll tell you what, man. The Clippers too, cutting that. They were smoking as well.
Emilio, delete that picture before Clayton puts it up again.
Oh man.
Tim done hit me with a full.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
US Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, permitted parishes only, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, or Wyoming. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgambling.com gamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York or visit oasas.ny.gov/gambling. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sports betting is void in Georgia, Hawaii, Utah, and other states where prohibited. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, permitted parishes only, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, or Wyoming. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York or visit oasas.ny.gov/gambling. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sports betting is void in Georgia, Hawaii, Utah, and other states where prohibited.
Got to Photoshop Clayton underneath that haircut and see what we can do.
Look at Ron Tolbert looking for another flag. You can just see he's got his hand in his pocket. He's like, is there another flag in here or did I throw them all?
Let me call in for backup there. You know what I'm saying? All right. So appreciate you sharing that, Emilio. That's good info to have there, man. Let's jump into a little PFF preview, shall we? And just take a quick glance at how this game is looking as far as on the surface. First of all, let's back up a touch and look at the summary, okay? According to PFF, again, this isn't everything, the overall power rankings, they got Green Bay 11th, right? They have the Colts 21st. Power ranking on defense, Green Bay has dropped to 24th. The Colts are sitting at 15th. Offense, they've got us 32nd, and we know why, because Malik Willis is starting this week, right? So they want to drop us down to dead last. Power ranking on offense for the Colts, 23rd, all right? And then, of course, what is that? Strength of schedule played Green Bay already, with Philly. They're considered the 7th toughest schedule played so far, albeit just one weekend. And Indianapolis Colts played the 20th best team is the way I'm understanding that, all right? Average offensive snaps, Green Bay got 67 in week 1. The Colts only have 45. Percentage of run plays, 34.8% run plays for Green Bay. The Colts ran at 43.2% of the time. Obviously, Green Bay passing 65.2% of the time, and the Colts passing 56.8% of the time. Their EPA per run, Green Bay 0.30. That is really good, fellas. And then, of course, EPA per run for the Colts was 0.08. Got a little bit of the matchup there. EPA per pass, Green Bay 0.14. That's expected points. Okay, what is expected points?
Added per
average.
Average.
They've got like several different ones that sound similar. I need to look that up and see exactly what EPA is. And then EPA for the Colts was 0.12. So essentially, again, this was with Jordan Love in the game for every snap but one, right? They pretty much got the edge on everything as far as EPA goes. Now, when you look at the quarterback matchup down here, obviously this changes big time. Let me zoom in just a touch. That might help a little bit, maybe not. So Malik Willis, only one pass, 42.5 is a PFF grade. Anthony Richardson graded out pretty good, 76.2, right? Passer rating, when clean, 74. Look at his passer rating under pressure. That's wild. 135.4 under pressure, man. That's just crazy. And big time throw percentage at 8%. And then power rating of 2.0. and power rating rank is 24th in the league there. So just to kind of keep your eye on that. Anything you guys want to add to that right now? Green Bay, as we get into the green line, right now Green Bay is catching 3 points. Okay, so that means the Colts are 3-point favorites at Lambeau Field as it sits right now. PFF actually got the number a little closer at 2.2. Anything you guys want to hit on there, Emilio, Tim?
Can you go back to the summary and scroll down a little? Yeah, that's alarming. Richardson passer rating under pressure 135.4. So let's rush 4 all day, please.
What did we say earlier in the week too, Tim? Didn't we?
Yeah.
Keep everything in front of you. Don't let them get out of the pocket.
Yeah, please no single high, please.
But Tim, the fans wanted it. What are you talking about?
You got it in week 1. How did you like what AJ Brown did to us? That's glaringly obvious, right? I'm not saying you don't dial up a blitz, right? Fire a nickel down there once in a while or something. Just keep them honest. But being blitz heavy ain't gonna get it done against a quarterback like this. He's probably hoping for pressure so he can wiggle out of there. So I hope we do. I hope we play him straight up, keep everything in front of you, like you said. Come up and make those open field tackles. If you're gonna, have them throwing those unders, we got to play stout there in the middle of the field. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm still just surprised at how efficient we were running the ball with less than 35%. As our attempts. I mean, we were chucking the ball over the yard. So I think that's impressive. We need to keep that up, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at the green line here again, let's look at the numbers here as far as the money coming in. So the cash, 53% of the cash is in on Green Bay, okay? But 59% of the tickets are on the Colts at -3. So you got somewhat of a push there, a little bit of a split. The market right now has got Green Bay 134. The Colts in the money line market is a -159. PFF's got it a little bit closer than that, with Green Bay at 141, and then the Colts at actually a -141. And win probability right now, they've got the Colts at 58.1%, Green Bay at 41.5% there. So the tickets, as far as the overall tickets on the money line, 79% of the tickets are coming in on Indy for the money line just to win outright. 81% of the cash is on Indy to win outright. So the public is all over Indianapolis right now to win outright. Okay. The over-under set at 41. Obviously, they smoked the over-under last week, if I remember correctly. Everybody was kind of, me included, was like, I expect this to be kind of a lower-scoring game, man. They pushed it. Absolutely. Yeah. So there you go. That's the quick look at the green line. Now, let's get into the lineup matchup here real quick. And, again, it's going to be kind of hard to see. I'm going to go full screen as much as I can for y'all, but we're going to have stuff off screen if we don't zoom out like this. Let's go with 11 personnel and nickel, first of all. Here's how it looks from Green Bay offensively, okay? Obviously, Walker, let's go across the offensive line. Rasheed Walker, 66.3. Elgton Jenkins, 63.8. That was from last year. I think these numbers are from last year, if I remember correctly. Myers, 54.7. Sean Ryan, 49.3. Zach Tom, 79.7. Again, this is kind of giving you a global look of what they were looking like last year, okay? When we look at the defensive front for the Colts, you've got Latu. They've got his new grade up there, 65.4. Some of these may not be updated, to be honest with you. DeForest Buckner's the big one for me. If somehow, some way he doesn't play in this game, guys, I'm really liking our chances. I really am. Right. 82.8, sixth highest graded defensive lineman. You got Lewis at a 47.1, seems to be the weak spot on that interior defensive line. And then Kwity Paye, the former first-round pick, obviously, pretty solid edge defender there. They're showing him at a 69.8 as it sits right now. What sticks out to you about this in the trenches matchup when it comes to 11 personnel and nickel defense?
Yeah, we're going to have to hold the young guy a lot too, definitely. But like you said, Buckner is another 3-tech that we have to stop. Hopefully that he's overhead of Jenkins most of the night. And, Ryan or Morgan, whoever it's going to be, is going to be able to handle Lewis. And then, Zach Tom's going to be on an island. If we can do, same thing with Lane Johnson, let's put Zach Tom out on an island, trust him to hold that one-on-one, and we have a lot more options with our backs, tight ends, and everything else moving forward.
Yep. I agree. I think, looking at Sean Ryan there at right guard, like you said, is it going to be him or is it going to be Jordan Morgan? It could be a little bit of both. But I certainly think that this could be a chance for Sean Ryan to put together a decent game. If you just look at the matchup in front of him, that looks pretty evenly matched. I know these numbers may or may not be current, but I look at our O-line, man, that middle of that offensive line, Myers and Ryan, is a huge question mark. And so you've got to, if it has to be right guard by committee, then let's do it. I think we pepper in Jordan Morgan and, even if we're starting Sean Ryan or even if it's the other way around, you never know. Maybe they, move Jordan Morgan into a starting role at some point and then Ryan's, backing him up. But Buckner playing, yeah, I'm with Emilio. That's going to be somebody you got to account for, like you said, that 3-tech. But even if he does go, if he's banged up with a back injury, I wonder if you just, go right at him. You know what I mean? See what he's really got left in the tank out there. And, if he starts rotating more and they have to bring in, second and third depth chart guys in to play that spot, that's a chance for us to exploit that, I think.
Yeah, Drew D says we can't let Buckner destroy us. He's the Tuesday player.
Yeah, they've already talked about him. Definitely.
Yeah, that's the guy that we can't let him wreck the game plan. If I'm the Colts, I'm putting him right in that A to B gap on the right side and trying to force a one-on-one matchup, get Kwity Paye out a little bit wider on Tom's outside shoulder and trying to make Sean Ryan and Josh Myers have to block Buckner. You do not want Buckner wasted lining up over Elgton Jenkins because Elgton Jenkins he'll stop him, no problem, right? So you'll probably see those switch a little bit, and that's where you get into a multitude of scheming. But I'm with this comment right here. Where's it at? Bang. Antonio Universe says Colts are going to stack the box. The Pack will have to get the passing game going to back the Colts off the line. Completely agree. And more specifically, Antonio, I think you need a lot of bootleg action, right? You've got to get Malik Willis out on the perimeter if he is playing quarterback and get them thinking twice about loading that interior, right? If they load the interior, don't be afraid to run outside zone. Also mix in a little zone read if you need to. Maybe a little RPO mix up too. Mm-hmm. But the main thing, get the running game going, stick with it, and run boot action off of it, I think is going to be the key. But, yeah, I think you're spot on, Antonio. You're going to have some kind of passing game or they're just going to load the box and shut the run down.
Hey, Clayton, that's a great point by Antonio. And it made me have a question for you out of the blue. Like, do you think there's going to be a concentrated effort here from Coach LaFleur to just get Willis going early, and we might just see a lot of throws right away, almost maybe unconventional wisdom? You may think go out there and establish a run, like we talked about, and then get him some play action off of that. But you think he just dials up some quick throws for him right away just to kind of try and find a rhythm?
The biggest issue, Tim, is the playbook is going to have to be so diluted down, right? Because he doesn't know the entire playbook. He doesn't know the entire offense. To me, the answer when a quarterback has less time in the offense, right? And here, if you do want to get the passing game going, if it's short, intermediate, and they're stacking the box, the best way to do that's RPO. Now, I guarantee you, no matter where Malik Willis has played, what system he's played in, there's been RPO aspects installed. RPO rules are pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple. They're 1 and 2 reads. You know exactly what you're doing. He's got an experience running zone read, and when you're going RPO, you got to be quick. You've seen it in the practice footage we just showed you, right? LaFleur was working on him with that kind of side and ride and working not just the zone read, but probably that RPO look. That's the best way to utilize it. And what happens is if you come out in this basic 11 personnel, and what we're showing here on the screen with PFF is what we call a dub set. A dub even set is strong right? If you come out in that strong right look and they line up this way, if they're going to load the box, they're going to have to bring a safety down into the box. Now the question becomes on the outside, are they playing press or are they playing off? If they're playing off, then you on your 2-by side, whether it's the nickel corner who's covering the 2 playing off, or it's the guy covering the 1 playing off. If the 1's playing off, there's probably a check with me at the line where you'll go smoke screen 1 to the 1 receiver on an RPO. And if the 2's playing off, then you'll go bubble screen RPO, meaning in this case, Reed would run a bubble outside. If they're both playing up press, that's where boot action might be able to free up something in the short to intermediate zone when you come with like a drive concept, a drag with a medium crosser along the backside there as well. But RPO to me, Tim, is the easiest way to get from point A to point B when someone doesn't completely understand the offense.
All right.
Yep.
So,
Feed them maybe a couple screens here and there, just to try to get the ball out, get it in the hand of their playmakers. I know you're talking bubbles, but even a slip to Josh or a tight end screen, something like that. And if they're coming with heat, that'll slow them down. A screen always slows down a rush.
And if they're really keying in on the run and you go play action, you've seen Tucker Kraft on that 29-yarder where he had that 19 mile per hour last week.
Yep.
Little play action drag across. You get those backers back or botting up on the run. You might be able to free that up too. You don't have to be a great quarterback to hammer a 40-yard drag route. You don't, right? So you just got to kind of – the defense is going to have to show up. That's what it's going to come down to. If we win the turnover battle 3-1 again, I really like our shots. I really do. So
I was going to say, at some point we're going to have to throw a deep ball too, though. I mean, it's not like it's not like we're going to, it's not like we're handcuffing his arms and he can't throw the ball over 20 yards. Like if Watson gets separation, if Watson, if he's even, I mean, I think Malik's going to throw it to him, right? What kind of weapons has he had around him at Tennessee too? So, I mean, I think our wide receiver core is definitely an upgrade. I think he's got some trust and faith in him, and I think the guys have some faith in him as well.
I agree. I would agree. I think you want to at least get a look, see what he's got, right? You got to set up a shot, see what he's got in that arm.
If they load the box, why not?
Right? Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, I agree. And Carly, if you've got anything, question, comment, you just jump in at any point, okay?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm fascinated. I'm still soaking it up and learning all about this because there's still so much I don't understand the complexities of, but this makes sense. It makes sense what you guys are saying about just giving them a shot. If they load the box, let's test them on it. Let's keep them honest.
Got it. All right. So if we go to base here now, let's drop that comment down there. Bang. And I see you got something already there, Emilio, too. Do you want to hit on that real quick, man?
Yeah, it was just kind of in response to our boy here, Boris Balkan. He said, how are you going to deal with a 6'4", 255 quarterback who can throw it 80 yards? That is true. One of these lines is literally off the screen. I mean, that thing's a goner.
I got an answer. Xavier McKinney.
I was going to say, I do see a red dot. And I know he mentioned 80 yards, but if you see this line right here, where this last touchdown went, 20 yards was his max completion besides that 80-yarder. So they're not pushing the ball crazy downfield. It's not like he's forcing 30, 40-yard, deep post flags kind of thing. I think that was probably maybe a deep curl, something like that. He's he threw a pick to the left, and he's accurate to the right, kind of like how we saw with Jordan Love.
I seen that actual play, Emilio. It was a crosser, and he threw the thing 120 mile an hour. That's what I'm talking about. Not having touch, not being able to lay the throws. One of the knocks on him coming out of college, and it showed up on the scouting report. He's such a muscular guy. It's hard for him to tuck his arms to make those touch throws.
Right.
And again, he was cheeks in college. Now, the dude's got all the physical ability in the world. He does. One of the big knocks is, can he stay healthy? And again, like you said here, if you just read that comment, you would think, oh, man, he must have connected on 3 or 4 passes way down the field. No, he hit on one. He hit on one.
Mm-hmm.
What was, what I'm saying? Like, so if you look at it more than 20 yards down the field, he was 1 for 3, correct?
Yep.
So there you go. Last time I checked, that's not a great completion percentage, but anyway. Thank you for pulling it up, man. That's really good to see that visualization there, for sure. All right, let's jump back over to PFF. This is your base set. Again, it's kind of hard to see. I apologize. I wish we could zoom in a little bit. Whoa, that's too much, ain't it?
Way over.
Way over. So let's just go. This is their base 4-3 look. Okay, so you see at the stack backer position, they're not loaded by no stretch of the imagination. They got speed. That's 75.9. Everybody else is 44.9 and then 30.8. Their safeties aren't nothing to write home about, at least early in the year here. Moore at corner, pretty solid there. 7th highest graded corner. That's Kenny Moore, the second. He's 5'9", 190. Coverage rate of 90.9, so a solid grade there. Probably want to try to steer your offense away from that side of the field. Try to pick on our cat right here. Go to 12 personnel. Try to run the rock. Try to Jalen Jones.
But if you get Christian Watson, lined up over Moore, I mean, what's that? 5 inches? 5-6 inch difference right there.
5'9" and Christian Watson 6'5". That's way more than that, brother.
Yeah.
That's an 8-inch difference, right?
Me like you that, Chan.
Yeah. Take you a couple shots because, again, Blackman at safety, Julian Blackman, actually a pretty solid ball player, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No. Well, last year he was. That's what I was thinking of, 68.3. So there you go. Maybe you do take a shot to Christian, And Malik's got a big arm. That's the thing. Malik Willis, I remember his pro day. He was throwing off platform and a lot of the things that you've seen Anthony Richardson do too, as far as the arm strength. Now he's much smaller in stature, but again, what if Malik Willis just goes out there and absolutely balls out? How cool would that be?
Oh my gosh.
It'd be absolutely awesome. So when you look at the 12 personnel, again, Musgrave 68.1, Kraft 60.4. They're showing Dobbs and Watson on the field. We know Jayden Reed. Jayden Reed's ass better be on the field every single play that he's healthy, because that dude, he is quickly becoming that game changer. There's no two ways about it. So, all right, let's move to the defensive side of the ball here. We got to wrap up quick. Defensively, we're going 11 personnel versus our nickel. That's what they'll be in the majority of the time, I'm pretty sure. So, from a PFF standpoint here, they don't have Bullard's grade up yet, which last week wasn't nothing to write home about. McKinney's last year at 87.5, obviously at the safety position. Corner, Jair Alexander last year, 75.9. Stokes looking a lot better this year. He's in the 60s for week one. Keyshawn Nixon in the slot. At the wide receiver position, really the number one guy you want to stop is right here, Alec Pierce, right? Fourth highest graded wide receiver in week one. Just a solid receiving grade at 88.4.
But to that point, Clayton, let's check his routes here. All right. 3 for 3. This is all we see as he ran. I mean, that's just kind of a you tell me he only ran 3 routes, or he caught 3 balls. Corner. Yeah, these were his 3 receptions.
Well, lots of slot action.
No, 2 receptions, right? Or
no, he was it's 3 for 3. 3 for 3, 125, 1 touchdown, and 10 yards of yak. So his 10 yards of yak came on this little, just a nice little short crosser, give him the ball, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and get another 10. And then he basically just ran 2 kind of climb. I think, Packers have called it tornado before, a post corner. So that's not terrible. As long as McKinney and Bullard can backpedal and they keep their heads up, I think we're going to be in decent shape. Right.
Yeah. Dude, I love what you're doing here, pulling these up, and this is absolutely awesome. Good stuff, Emilio. So yeah, there you go. As far as offensive line, they've got a solid offensive line early on here with Raymond, 82.8. Nelson, you guys know Quentin Nelson, one of the best in the business there. They get Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame, just an absolute stud, 6'5", 330, 90.7 PFF grade. Kelly at center, 71.9. Fries at 93.0. He actually grading out higher than Nelson there in 2024, just be one game, but 6'6", 305 out of Penn State. They like those Kenkel boys up there in Indy playing offensive line, that's for sure. So they got a solid offensive line, man. They really do. And from a weapon standpoint, like we said with Pierce, I wonder what happened with do you have Pittman's chart? Could you pull that up, Emilio? Would that be difficult?
No.
I'd like to know what he did last week. He graded out a 61.3. I'd like to see where they're trying to target him at, because again, we noticed with Pierce 2 of the 3 routes were deep, that deep climb, deep post, like you were saying. I'd like to see where they're trying to hit him out. And look at boy, Jonathan Taylor had a rough day, didn't he? 56. Holy cow. That's kind of rare there at the running back position.
Right. No, they don't have anything for his 2024. So I don't know if he.
Okay, cool. And everybody, listen, it's early in the season for everyone. If you look at if you look at snaps by position, they're showing 31 out wide, 8 in the slot. So it looks like he had 49 plays, actually 50 plays. 1 was inline, so they were probably going with like a little nasty split there. It's okay, Emilio. Don't worry about it. We're ready.
No, I was just taking – no, I mean, I got a couple, but I was just kind of taking a peek. This was, back in let's see, hold on. 2023 week 13. So, I mean, he's kind of all over the board if you're looking at it like this, but not Alec Pierce deep route kind of stuff, right? If you're looking here, week 17 was just a couple of slants, bubbles, little fade. That nothing crazy, really. So I think he's definitely going to be your underneath wide receiver.
Yep. As far as the defensive front here, too, back to PFF, the one that sticks out to me, the matchup you're really, really looking for here, Rashawn Gary going against their right tackle, that's probably your best shot, right? Everything else is pretty solid. That's definitely the weakest link is their right tackle at Smith. Right. And again, Braden Smith, he's graded out pretty well his whole career, starting in 2018, 72.2, 79.8, 80.1, 80.6, 75.5, 83.3, and then, of course, 1 week this year, 70.4. Hopefully, Rashawn Gary gets pressure on him. But what you got to do here, again, bring 4. Don't smack your head against the wall. Make him play underneath. Make him play with touch, right? Yep. Give him some cover 3 seam looks, that type of thing. Make sure you've got pretty much a makeshift cover 4 defense with a cover 3 approach like look.
Right.
And make that dude beat you with touch on the ball. That's the way I see it.
Put Rashawn in that wide 9 and let him eat.
Just let him eat.
That what's that? Grant's in there. That tight end ain't gonna help much.
Colin Grant, it seems to be a weak spot on their team too. Let me go base real quick just to make sure that PFF didn't screw up and they've actually got a stud in the other spot. So yeah, they got Mo Alley Cox. Now he's a monster. I'm not saying he's good, but 6'5", 267. He's a big old boy. PFF grade wise, 2023 was a 60.8. 2022 was a 48.2. Yeah, so they're kind of weak at the tight end position, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. So make sure they don't hit you with the deep shot with Alec Pierce. Watch Pittman underneath. And Jonathan Taylor, again, the thing that gives me a lot of hope when you look at it matchup-wise now is when we go back to those early, like I said, it's just 1 week, but Philly can run the hell out of the ball. Opponent yards per rush attempt, Green Bay 10th at 3.8. Man, if you can get that kind of performance out of your run defense, I like your chances here, man. To be in it. Again, that's all you can ask for with a backup quarterback. Just be in it at the end.
And if you just want to pull it up real quick, we'll look at Jonathan Taylor's chart from last week. I mean, really barely got outside the hash. I mean, he is between the tackles kind of runner. He did break one, right?
Did he fumble twice, Emilio? Is that what I'm seeing?
Tackled for a loss is the red line.
Oh, it is. Okay. I thought it was fumble.
So it looked like he maybe had 2 tackles. Looks like outside zone, left and right, where he lost, and then a lot of looks like he was a lot of sidecar, right? I'm not seeing a lot from the ISO up top, a lot of left, right sort of stuff. So I think that if we can, keep attention to that, they like to flow across the face of Anthony Richardson. They want to run to the right side of the line. I think it's going to be big for Rashawn to try to slow him down, and hold that edge.
Got it. Good stuff, dude. Good information. I love this, man. PFF preview, you pulling up the next gen stats. It's the way to go, dude. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so we're at the hour 24 mark. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I've been talking for 6 straight hours, man. I'm just ready to – I don't want to see another human being for the rest of the night, to be honest with you.
Andy, I'm going to bed.
Right. She just got back from Knoxville, too. She's like, what about me? Let's go around the horn one time. Anything else y'all want to add? Carly, we'll start with you. Any questions, comments, anything at all before we wrap up here?
Just kind of a quick thing about Jordan Love and his injury and stuff. I know they're not putting him on IR. We've seen quarterbacks come back too early and it keep affecting them or other players too. I can't recall off the top of my head who I was hearing about, but I really hope they take enough time. I know they want to get back into the season. I don't know what you guys think. Would you rather have him back as early as possible, or do you want him to make sure he's 100% first?
It's like JG Wentworth. It's my money and I need it now. You know what I mean? Like, we're so impatient. Sponsor the show, by the way, Wentworth. But, I just love the idea of Love, no pun intended, running out of that tunnel and the fire it would ignite into the team. But you're spot on. Like, if you march him out there too early, and they're saying there's no extra risk, right, of injuring, it's just pain threshold. But still makes you nervous because, like Matt said, if he can't truly protect himself and he's not 100% mobile, then you are putting yourself in harm's way. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
The kid in me wants Love running out of that tunnel just for that extra jolt, try to get a win. But the smart thing is definitely let's let that thing heal up a little bit.
Yeah, if you're looking at the grades, Carly, with the grade 1, a mild tear, which is less than 10% of the fibers in your ligaments torn, your knee is still stable. They said the grade 1 requires a short period rest, 48 to 72 hours of walking only, followed by 1 to 3 weeks of exercise and rehab. He's doing that. And they even said it could take from a few days to a week and a half to heal from a grade 1, 2 to 4 weeks with a grade 2.
And they're saying the big thing that keeps that the way you get over the pain so quick is stay off of it, let the scar tissue build up around it. That's what's going to strengthen it. And then, now if you're on it sooner, then that scar tissue is going to get worn a little bit and you're going to have more pain. Right. So I'm no doctor, obviously, like LaFleur says, but that's just based off of the former offensive lineman that have talked about it. So going to be interesting to see though, man. Again, what if Malik Willis comes out and gets a dub? That would be awesome. Man. Do we have a quarterback controversy, Tim, if Malik Willis goes out there and gets a win? Look at Tim.
We could have a quarterback controversy for one more week because he'd be going into Tennessee. Right. If that happens.
Revenge tour.
Yeah.
Revenge tour.
We keep wanting that. I'm not sure about that. We'll see.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
All right, Tim, you got anything else, bud?
Yeah, not football related. We can't go without mentioning 9/11 guys.
Definitely.
23 years ago. So we want to take a moment to just honor those nearly 3,000 people that we lost on that day and appreciate our first responders and our military and our, and honestly, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw today. I mean, even the political wars kind of ended today, and our presidential candidates kind of buried the hatchet and they shook hands and put politics aside to remember 9/11 today. So that's in this political climate, honestly, that's a huge statement.
Rare.
Yeah, very rare. So kudos to both of them. And I know we have some veterans that are part of the posse, so we want to salute them and thank them for their service, and just never forget, like Tony says here in the chat, never forget, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, shout out to everybody who serves our communities, whether it's, like with my brother's passing, his neighbor that really kind of watched over him while I was here out of town, living away from my brother. His name's Jim, former retired fire chief, people like that all over the country that just literally when other people are running away from danger, they're sprinting towards it, all in the name of just, hey, let's help our fellow citizens. Police, fire, like you said, EMTs, especially our military, everyone who serves our community, our nation, man. We say it 1,000 times and it's not enough. You're the reason we have the freedom to get on here and do such a sucky show. And we appreciate you more than you know, man. We really do. So, again, if you're one of those people, thank y'all so much for giving us the freedom to do what we do. Tim, very well said. Thank you for bringing that up, Bob. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We will be back tomorrow night, most likely 7 p.m. Central. I'm sure we'll get another injury report and all that good stuff. But like I said, take a second tonight, hit your knees, and thank the good Lord above for the people around you and the people who are always, like I said, supporting us in our freedom. So, Tim, help me out here.
Oh, let me get it here. Oh, here he is.
For those of you listening on the pod.
See, Jacob's still here in spirit. Thank y'all for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world.
Bon dia.
There you go.